Hello, Standard 7. We have started with the chapter Akbar the Great, and in Akbar the Great, you have studied about Second Battle of Panipat. You also have studied about the Battle of Haldi Ghati. Now, today we are going to start with the administration of Akbar. Okay, when we speak about administration of Akbar, Akbar had absolute power. He held absolute power, means the complete power was in the hand of Akbar, and he unified India. Okay, he unified India under a single system of administration, and he employed people on the basis of their talent or skill, not according to their caste or religion. So this was the speciality of Akbar. Then he was the head of both civil as well as military governance, and many officers who assisted him in his work, they were Wazir, Diwan, Mir Bakshi, Khan Saman, Sadar I Sadur, and Qazi. They were the important officer who assisted the Akbar in his administration. Okay. So what was the duty? Who was Wazir? Wazir was the prime minister and Qazi was the chief judge. Mir Bakshi took care of military governance while the Diwan headed the revenue department. Needs of royal household were taken care by Khan Saman while Sadar I Sadur kept record of grants and donations made by emperor. Now, Akbar had 9 gems in his court. So there were 9 gems in Akbar's court and they were called Navratnas. And the names of the Navratnas are Abul Fazl, Faizi, Abdul Rahim, Khanan, Mia Tansen, Abdul Rahim Khane Khanan, Mia Tansen, Raja Todarmal, Raja Birbal, Raja Man Singh, Fakir Aizuddin, and Mullah Do Piyaza. They were the 9 gems in the court of Akbar. So here Abul Fazl was the scholar and author and Faizi was the scholar and poet. Abdur Rahim Khane Khanan was a military leader. Mia Tansen was the singer and musician and Raja Todarmal was an administrator. Raja Birbal was a friend of Akbar who was known for his wit. Raja Mansingh was a military leader and Fakir Aizuddin and Mullah Do Piyaza were the scholars. The next you have provincial administration. So village was the smallest unit of administration, or you can say village was the smallest administrative unit in Akbar's empire. So whole empire was divided into many provinces and the provinces were again subdivided into districts. So here there were many provinces in his empire which were subdivided into many districts. Each district was further divided into many parganas and each pargana was divided into many villages. So here you have to remember the provinces and districts in Akbar's empire were known as subas and sarkars. Subedars were important officials who governed the subas. Villages were administered by panchayat while towns were run by kotwals. And now you have to learn the meaning of what were the duties of kotwals. Kotwal, he took care of town administration by performing police and civic duties. They maintained law and order in the towns by catching criminals. They were responsible for maintaining records of people in their areas and they also kept a check on weights and measures used for selling goods by shopkeepers. So this was about the provincial administration where you have to learn about the duties of Kotwal. Next you have revenue administration. So here Akbar had almost the some revenue structure which was introduced by Sher Shah during his ruling period and Raja Todarmal was the revenue minister during Akbar's reign. He had also served as the chief revenue officer under the rule of Sher Shah. So he was responsible for a proper method of measurement of land in which the land was accurately measured and classified according to its fertility. Raja Todarmal revenue system later on became famous as Todarmal Bandobast. So we are going to study about Todarmal Bandobast or the revenue administration. Todarmal, he introduced a new system of measurement of land. So how the land was measured. Bamboo reed were used to make the rod in this new method were joined together with iron rings for giving proper and accurate measurement of land. Apart from this, Todarmal also classified land into three major categories, that is good, average and bad. So here this system greatly helped in fixing the revenue on the basis of the fertility of land. Land which was not used for cultivate which was not used or cultivated for 4 or more years was called fallow land or buncher land, and it yield no revenue. Now how the revenue was fixed? So a new system called the Hassal System was introduced in 1580 AD. An average yield and average price of different crops over the last 10 years were calculated under this system, and tax to be paid annually was fixed on the basis of the uh, average. Okay, so this you have to remember that how revenue was fixed according to the Dahasal system. Now, what was the Dahasal? Average yield and average prices of different crops over last 10 years were calculated, and the tax to be paid annually was fixed on the basis of the average. Okay, so here land was measured and then divided according to the fertility of the soil, and good, average and bad. Fallow land were those land which were not cultivated for 4 or more than 4 years. So no revenue was collected, and thus all system was introduced in order to fix the revenue. This is also known as revenue administration, or it is also known as Todarmal Bandobast. Okay, and one more thing you have to remember that generally one third of this figure formed the state's or king's share, and cultivator could pay their taxes either in cash or kind. So please learn the administration of Akbar, where you studied about provincial administration, and I have completed the revenue administration. Thank you very much.